So, the Plucky Squire. The fact I even had to remind him that we have to play this is insane, but well, here we are now. Huh? The Plucky Squire is what I'd call a platforming puzzle adventure game that mixes 2D and 3D gameplay with cute art and awesome ideas. It was released for Windows, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X/S and Nintendo Switch on 17th of September 2024, and I missed the release and then started to sleep on the game due to me just kind of forgetting about it. Yet, ever since I first heard of the game, I wanted to make a video on it. Developed by All Possible and published by Devolver Digital, who also released Cult of the Lamb, so you know we're in for a treat. The game is centered around the heroic Chod, who is kicked out of his storybook by the villainous Humgrump, forcing Chod to explore and face challenges both within his storybook and the outside world when the evil wizard Humgrump realizes that he is the villain of the story who is destined to be defeated by the forces of righteousness led by the heroic Chod, whom Humgrump proceeds to kick out of their storybook's pages and thus changes the story forever. The way it is told as a simple children's book mixed with the room of a very creative kid is absolutely adorable and sweet and absolutely melts my heart. It also does not remind me of any other games that I have played in my life, and I adore this idea. The combat is simple but nice and fits the game. Unlike other games with simple combat systems. Get out of my face, Genshin Impact, you were a shit game. Your combat system did not fit the type of game you were. Get out. I absolutely adore how the game sets up its mix of 3D and 2D gameplay, with the boulders plopping out of the book, and the puzzles can get rather complex but are never overly difficult and are really fun to solve, especially with all the powers you unlock. The puzzles can get rather complex and I struggle remembering everything I can do, but that is simply just me being an utter dumbass, and I genuinely believe I have not played a game with more fun and creative puzzles and boss fights. Each boss fight is designed in such a creative and different way that they could be entire game systems on their own, and I love that. And you can especially see it in the first fight, and I'll just show you how that went because I also had a bit of a crash out. It doesn't look like a fucking honey badger. That is not a fucking honey badger, it is not. That's a badger. Fucking hell. If I'm smart in editing, you'll now see an actual picture of a real honey badger. That is not a fucking honey badger. Unless that yellow thing on the... No, don't tell me that yellow on the top is supposed to be the white part of a honey badger. Because that just looks like piss. Why is this SpongeBob? That's so funny. It's a story about inspiring others through art and the beauty of doing so, and it does not hide it and plays into it hard, which I absolutely adore. It directly shows you how a writer of any variety will inspire others because of their works. It greatly shows how creatives inspire other creatives. And let me share an anecdote of my own here. The reason why I wanted to write is because I enjoy reading and because of Worm by Wildbow, Calvin's Pokemon fanfic, The Adventures of Calvin and Team Plasma, and Lord Mirao's Heaven's King. The reason why I wanted to make YouTube videos is because I wanted to throw my hat into the metaphorical ring too. I was inspired to follow in the footsteps of other creatives that did amazing jobs that inspired me to do the same. And I think a lot of artists would agree with me on that point. If there had never been a Zeo, a Just Nero, a Hübi, a Stampy, or even a DanTDM, I would have never started doing YouTube. And if it wasn't for Big L, Parnell, Pyro, Spark, Malarak, and many others that I can't even list here, I would have never continued on after the 2 years of making YouTube videos. Art inspires art and needs to be made by humans to carry over those feelings and inspire others. I never felt inspired by any AI art, and I do very much believe that this game has a strong anti-AI message engraved into it, because it explicitly calls out human-made art as an inspiring medium and says that if Humgrump rewrites the story, which could easily be interpreted to mean that AI writes a story, ruins books without inspiring anyone, which is a message that I fully stand behind. The extreme creativity of the Plucky Squire is really refreshing in today's gaming market, with the same franchises just getting worse. And most games you actually do hear about not being too creative or different to others at their core principle.
A 4-player co-op shooter. Yes, I need more 4-player co-op shooters. Oh man, Badger, you gotta play this new 4-player co-op shooter. You mean like EDF or Darktide or Vermintide or DRG or Killing Floor 2 or Left 4 Dead 2 or Payday 2 or Payday...
With all the games that I've played throughout my life were the ones you see here that I own physically, not even being all of them, because I do sadly own some games only digitally and I sold others. The Plucky Squire didn't stick out because it only feels like a child-friendly Zelda game, yet because it also made me feel like I was playing Zelda for the very first time. And the fact that it just overflows with so many different and amazing ideas woven together in a seamless and logical way, that it just blew me away. The characters are adorable and just fit the story. The Plucky Squire is definitely aimed to a younger audience, yet even as an adult I really enjoy it, and I genuinely can't recommend it enough, especially if you, like me, have been burnt out by today's gaming market where everything just feels extremely similar. And I just love that the Plucky Squire doesn't feel like any other game I have ever played. I seriously like that. If you've made it to the end of the video here, leave a like. It can't have been that awful, right, if you decide to stick around this long. Subscribe if you want to see more of my videos and want to see when they release. Now, here I'll put up a video of a game that I really enjoyed last year, that I would even call to be my favorite game of 2025, Reka. Or here is my latest video, if you want to check that out. But that's all the time I have for now. And with that, ciao Kuro. That he is indeed the villain of the story. Fuck my life.